How about that AFC West, huh? Getting even better as the Chargers are reportedly going to sign J.C. Jackson, the top cornerback on the market, to a 5-year deal that could be worth up to $82.5 million. $40 million of that reportedly guaranteed for the former Patriots cornerback, who the Patriots decided not to tag. Since the start of the 2020 season, he has the most interceptions in the NFL with 17. All right, let's bring in Brady Quinn here on CBS Sports HQ. I mean, it seems like every big-name player these days going to the AFC West.
Yeah, they just all want to beat each other up, apparently yes. A couple times a year. You're going to have a great defense if you're going to go for as many fourth downs as Brandon Staley likes to go for on offense. So you better have a team out there and get you the football back or get you stops. That's what they've done this offseason. You've now got J.C. Jackson, Derwin James in the secondary, a match with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa coming off of the edge. But this also has to do with what we're seeing now in that same AFC West division on other teams at the quarterback spot. You've now got a future Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson there in Denver. You've got to worry about a future Hall of Famer in Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr, who's no slouch himself with the numbers he's put up over the last 4 or 5 years. So you've got to have the ability to rush the passer and then get turnovers and defend against some of the better playmakers, too, in the NFL, in the AFC West. And that's what the Chargers are doing right now. They're loading up where they have this window and they have this opportunity to do so with Justin Herbert on his rookie deal.
J.C. Jackson, a guy who New England chose not to tag. I know Danny Cannell in particular was really surprised that they didn't tag him. They didn't offer him a big contract.
It's all about compensatory picks. They let these guys go because they know they're going to sign a big deal like this. And let's be real, the New England Patriots don't think they're worth that. They just don't. They'd rather have a third-round compensatory pick once he signs this big deal in the future. That's what this is about. For J.C. Jackson, though, this is a great scheme fit. I think with all the things the Chargers are going to ask him to do, whether it's in man coverage, we know you play a bunch of different concepts in Bill Belichick's scheme, but also in off-zone coverage. That's one of the things he's really excelled at as a cornerback in this league, and something that he's going to be versatile and able to do for the Chargers.
Our Josina Anderson is able to confirm that news. 5 years, $82.5 million with $40 million guaranteed for J.C. Jackson, who was the number 3 player on Pete Prisco's top 100 free agent list. Brandon Sheriff went to the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier in the day. How good is J.C. Jackson?
He's one of the top cornerbacks in the league, Chris. No, I mean, the reality is, and this is the truth this time of year, we tend to overinflate the value of some of these deals. That 5-year deal versus $82.5 million, I believe is what you said. There's about $40 million guaranteed, right?
Yep.
It's a 2-year deal, then we'll see. Then the team has control of the contract for the remaining 3 years. And based on how he plays, if he's played like how he has the past 2 years, he'll still be under contract there. And at some point, they'll look to restructure. But if he doesn't, they'll move on. I mean, that's how all of these deals are structured. They are 1 to 2 year deals. Now, you're going to hear otherwise because we in the media get all the information from the agents, and the agents want to puff their chests out and make sure they look like they're doing their job this time of year. But the truth of the matter is they're 1 to 2 year deals as far as guarantees within them, and then that's it. And they're under the control of the team, and how they play will largely determine then if they stick around or if they're going to be cut.
I know Russell Wilson wanted out of Seattle, wanted to get to a team where he thought he could win a championship and compete. How are you feeling, though, if you're Russell Wilson after what the Chargers have done the last week or so?
When you make the decision to go to Denver, you don't look around the rest of the division or worry about the competition. You worry about you. You worry about all the things on your plate and what's in front of you. The guys that you've got to develop chemistry with. They've got a star-studded cast of receivers to throw to that have been underutilized. Just ask Vic Fangio. He'll tell you that from his time there in Denver, not having a quarterback to get those guys the football enough. They've got an offense that's capable of putting up a bunch of points and a defense that's capable of shutting teams down. And I don't think the Broncos are done either with adding some additions to that team. So it's going to be a star-studded division. It's going to be fun to watch. And as much as we want to act like that always ends up being a deterrent for players, or even these teams aren't going to be able to move on and be able to win a Super Bowl, what was the best division in football this past year? The NFC West. And who won it? The LA Rams. So I don't think we always look at that as it's too brutal of a path to get to a Super Bowl and win one. Sometimes it's survival of the fittest, and maybe the team out of the AFC West wound up winning it all this year.
The Chiefs have been the favorites to win the Super Bowl each of the last 3 or 4 seasons, I believe. You have a team like the Broncos that went out and got Russell Wilson. You have the Vegas Raiders who went to the postseason last year. The Chargers barely missing the postseason. Where do they stack up? As of right now, still a long way to go in the offseason.
I think the Chargers are the 3rd best team, maybe 2nd best, depending on, really offensively, it wasn't so much Herbert. I think, and Pete Prisco and I talked about this throughout the course of the season, It was the inconsistency in play calling on offense. Like at times they wanted to unleash Justin Herbert and let him be the player we think he is. And other times it was a conservative game plan. They wouldn't let him get into a rhythm. And it was tough to watch. And so I think between offensively, ironing out some of those wrinkles and some of those issues they were having, but also defensively, now adding the star-studded cast, they're not going to have to put up a ton of points all the time, especially with the way this defense can play. So the Chargers are definitely up there third, second, depending on how these offseason additions end up impacting the team.
And Justin Herbert, I think some would argue at this point, a top 5, definitely top 10 quarterback in the National Football League at this point. Let's move to.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.